What is up, everyone? JD here. I hope you're all doing well today. Today, I'm going to be bringing you my top carries for the month of March 2023. Let's get into it. All right, we're not going to waste any time because it is top 10. I want to try to keep this relatively short. I don't want to drag it out. Coming in at the number 10 spot is going to be one of my most favorite knives in the collection, the Benchmade Bug Out. This is really special to me for a couple of different reasons. One, the wife gifted this to me. It is a very special knife to me. I really love this knife. It is also a great EDC. If you're looking for a one and done knife and you want something that you can carry every day that is built well, feels tough, has a good aftermarket following, and is going to be a performer and has a fantastic warranty backing it, the Benchmade Bug Out is a great recommendation. These are the Flytanium titanium scales. I did pick these up during a Black Friday sale. I think it was Black Friday sometime in November they were running them, and I think I picked them up for almost half price. And this is one of the first knives that I practiced anodizing on. I didn't even have a power supply. I was using 9-volt batteries, and my wife loved the color, so it has remained this color ever since. Really happy with this one. It is a great performer, very good action, very smooth, lock up side to side like a microscopic hint of play for that smooth action, and up and down, it is rock solid. There is no up and down play whatsoever. This is just an easy knife to recommend. Again, I like to carry this because I love it, because it's sentimental, because it is so well built, and those titanium scales, even if you get the aluminum scales that I think Original Goat's making, I'm not sure if it's Original Goat, but I think there's some aluminum scales out there. Those scales make this knife feel so much more solid than the Grivory scales that they come with. But that is my number 10 knife. We're going to set it aside and keep this moving because I just said I'm not going to drag this one out. To no surprise, if you follow the channel, the number 9 knife, number 3, I'm going the wrong direction. The number 9 knife is the WE Roxy 3. Really like this one. Super surprising because it's a small knife, but it works really well. As you can see, I have a very comfortable grip. It has awesome jimping, very chunky, which really helps with the grip on here. Nice sheep's foot, flat ground, good edge on it, nice and sticky. I like to use this one a lot. Oh, it did clean up well. I was going to say you can see the marks on it, but that's what I like about a black wash blade. Well, I really like a stone washed blade or one that has the raw grinds on it because you really can't see any of the wear marks on it, but I don't mind that either because I also look at it as patina. Great lock bar access. The blade's a little bit lighter, so it's more of a shaker than it is a guillotine, but I really like this one a lot. I got the skiffs in there. The reason I do that is because they're like glass. It's just really smooth. There's no feedback, and there's all types of ways to deploy this knife. So if you like to fidget, this one here is going to be really awesome. Even if you like to use like the fuller to go down there and kind of kick it from the side instead of doing the thumb hole like complete reverse flick, it's going to work really well. And the chunky nature to this one is really going to help with the confidence in hand. It's nice and thick throughout. It's chunky, but it is also knocked down, so it doesn't feel super sharp at any particular point. I think right here where the line stops is about the only place that I ever really kind of feel something, but it's not uncomfortable. I like the black with the bronze, but you know, that new anode job that we've been doing here lately on a lot of their knives, if they wanted to update that to this model, I think it would look really good. But they do also have the flame stripe one out there with the acid etch and wash. That one looks really good too. I was tempted to upgrade this, but I just love this knife so much and it's been with me so long. I really don't want to change it out, and I really like the way that black and bronze looks. But this is a great knife. Even if you don't like small knives and you have medium to large hands, I like that one a lot. It doesn't take up a lot of space and I can carry other gear with it. All right, let's keep it going. Coming in at the number 8 spot, my ProTech Mordax. I was so happy to get this one back from BGM after the regrind. He put the swedge on here. The grind on here is hollow, really thin and slicey, man. This thing changed the entire demeanor of this knife. The aluminum scales feel nice and solid, really secure in hand, plenty of space if you need to choke back for any type of chopping or heavy duty cutting task, if you really not got to get into that hammer grip. And then I really feel comfortable just kind of choking up. The only thing on here that bothers me is a little sharp right there on that part of the flipper tab, which really doesn't need to be quite so sharp because it has this fantastic ramp for the deployment that works really, really good. I would say I am debating just taking the Dremel and kind of rounding it over just a touch, like just on the edge, because it really kind of digs in to the finger when I go to hold it. It's really pokey right there. And I don't know, it might just be mine, right? It might not be all of them. But the detent on here is really good. It is impossible to fail this. It does have the skiffs in the bearings, skiff bearings in the pivot, which are really smooth. Like I can't emphasize enough how glassy smooth this feels. There's no feedback on the open and close. It just feels like it's rolling completely smooth. Now, it is not the most versatile shape because you're not going to be able to do much in the way as far as the draw cuts and things of that nature, but it's nice for a pinch grip if you need to get into the side of a package if you're trying to get into some tape, and it is really going to be good for those slicing tasks, especially with the regrind that I've put on here. Now, mine does have the green bead, that the green button, but that is because it was a show exclusive. I don't remember which show it was. I don't know if it was Georgia or where it was, but it is a show exclusive, which is why it has that button. Otherwise, it'll just come with the button that kind of matches the rest of the hardware, which might look better to some people. Pocket clip is really nice, in and out of the pocket, very satisfying to fidget with. That is my number 8 knife. Coming in at number 7 is going to be the Kungwu Pulsar. This one here recently released, recently dropped. I got in on the Kickstarter, and I have loved this knife since I've gotten it. It has kind of become the most carried Kungwu knife in my collection because it is really stunning to look at, really generous forward finger choil, so I'm able to grip it and have plenty of space even when I'm gripping up tight to cut through the top, cardboard. Nice jimping on the back. As you can see, it does have the crown spine on there as well. Really nice touch, finishing touch on there. I love these crossbar locks because they're very proud. They're easy to grip, very hard to miss. The spring on here is really good as well. It's very flickable, very fidgetable, and I really like the action on this one. I did go ahead and put the bearings in here again. Skiff rocket glides are in there, and it is just so smooth. The jimping and texturing on here is nice. They have G10, they have the flat titanium scales. Those all work really well. Pocket clip goes in and out of the pocket and functions perfectly. Reversible, which is great because you have that ambidextrous lock. That is important to have that be reversible because you lose the benefit of the ambidextrous lock if you don't do that. I love the finishes on here. This is the finish that I like. It's not going to show much wear and tear no matter how much you use it, and it came with a great factory edge. Elmax is running 60 to 62, 60 to 60, yeah, 60 to 62, I think that's right. I know it's at least 60. It might even be 61 to 63, but I don't know what they're running. I think it's 60 to 63. Great heat treat for Elmax. Going to be really good performer. Going to be good to as far as anti-corrosion. It's going to cover you there. It's going to hold an edge for a long time. It's going to sharpen up nicely. It's a great steel. I'm really enjoying it. I've had a couple from Kungwu, and I'm very, very happy with it. Great knife. That one is the number 7. Coming in at number 6 is going to be no surprise to anyone that follows the channel. Chris Reeve Umanzan hitting in at that 6th spot, and that's probably mostly because a lot of new knives, a lot of knives that I had to review. It cuts down on the knives that have really been mainstays, which is why you see some of these at the lower end of the list. But this is a great knife. I love the ergos on this. I love the hollow grind. Great edge from the factory. All I've done is maintain that edge and keep it up. Don't get me wrong, I'm not grabbing this all the time to break stuff down. I grabbed some other knives because I do try to preserve it a little bit, but I am not reserved in using this. I've broken down plenty of boxes, gotten into plenty of packages. I carry it a ton. I think there is a mark on here, but I can't really get it to show up on camera. I think it's right in the middle where it's kind of gone into the titanium, and then I just stripped and re-anodized it. And then you can see little nicks and stuff from where my ring is hitting on it. And you can see where I've scraped here when I was trying to install the pocket clip. So I don't try to save it, but I don't try to destroy it either. I really want this to last because I'd like it to be a knife that gets handed down to the kids. It's just, if you haven't experienced a Chris Reeve knives, there's something about them that just really feels different. I really like the entire premise of the Chris Reeve knife. Coming in at number 5, and I'm surprised it wasn't a little bit higher on the list because this is quickly becoming one of my favorites in the inventory, and that is going to be the Quiet Carry 9. I've had this on a lot here recently. If you haven't checked it out, check out the review on this. This is a great knife. I did go with the all raw finished, stone washed, and with the micarta. I really like this look. I love the clean lines and then the dark and light contrast. It's really a sharp looking knife. I love the way that this plays with the light and a little bit of a lower light. You can get a little bit of color reflectivity playing off of that material. Pocket clip on here works really well. Access to the lock bar is good. I have no issues getting in between the scales to disengage it. Good detent for the thumb stud action, whether you like to reverse flick or thumb flick. And no flipper tab, just keeps the lines clean in the closed position. Really thin blade. All I've done is strop this. I've carried it so much that it's gotten a lot of use as well, breaking down some small boxes when I get too many boxes, getting into packages gummed up with tape, things of that nature. But the 20 CV on here seems to be treated really well. It is definitely a little bit more effort to hone this up. I did like 10 strops on either side and went to cut, and it still had some little tiny spots on there that were getting hung up, and I had to do it a little bit more. So it definitely feels tough, and I just love the way that that clip point looks on this very neutral handle. It's just such a clean look, and to me that's important because I do carry knives into the office from time to time in an organizer, and I just want something kind of upscale, tasteful looking that is not going to be very tactical looking. But this is a great knife. I like so much about it, and I highly recommend checking out the review if you're interested in more details of the number 5, which is the 9. Coming in at number 4 is going to be the EMP EDC Relative. Same thing that I just said about the 9. This is quickly taken over the spot. I like this so much I actually let go of my Nimble X, and this has really become my favorite EMP EDC. This is a Bestech manufactured knife, and let me tell you, you can tell the difference between the one that came from QSP and the one that's coming from Bestech. And that's saying something for Bestech because QSP can do a really good, really quality build. Like, I'm not trying to take away from QSP. I'm just saying that's how good to me the Bestech is. Great detent. The hole is in the great spot. I don't have to move around to use it. Flipper tab is fine. It's a little bit, for me with the larger hands, sometimes I come up too high, but it does have enough space. You're really supposed to just hit it right on the front there, and you can let it rip, and it even works with a couple of the tricks. The fuller's nice too because you can really kick it out if you like to lay your hand down. The milling on here gives extra confidence on the grip, but the contouring and the way that this is scalloped into the hand really works, and so does the jimping going all the way out to the edge. Compound grind. The flat is super slicey. I mean, it is really, really slicey, and you do have strength out on the tip when you're getting into your packages or whatever it is that you're doing with the detail work. That works really good. Great access to the lock bar. Skiffs, again, I didn't mention it on the 9, but they're in the 9 and they're on the Relative as well. Great knife. I know they don't have any currently in stock, but keep an eye out at empedc.com. They changed, like, the next batch. This had the first batch had Magna Cut and 20 CV. The next batch is going to be LMAX. So they do re-release pre-orders, and then he orders extra above that to try to sell to folks that may have missed on the pre-order. So you just got to sign up for the notifications and follow the social media. I can't emphasize it enough, because that's how you're going to see when drops are coming. Absolutely no surprise, coming in at number 3 is going to be both of my Demcos. I talk about these knives all the time. This one is the BGM reground clip point with the original goat scales that I anodized myself, Lynch Northwest deep carry clip that I anodized myself, and surprise, surprise, riding on skiff bearings. To me, this is the perfect size Demco. I like this one a lot because it is very thin and lightweight. Even with the titanium scales, which you can feel the difference in the weight, it's still a lightweight knife. These were made by Carbodize. They are the Camo Carbon 80s theme. And then I did the Lynch Northwest clip myself. BGM regrind again, and again, surprise, surprise, skiffs in the pivot. But these are great knives, very comfortable, up to the task to hard use, and with the regrinds on them, they are incredibly slicey. This one here, S35VN, this one here is the 3V, very tough steel. I just can't tell you how much I love these knives. Great knives. Not gonna waste too much time on them though. If you followed me, you know a lot about them. If you don't, check out the videos. The most recent one are gonna be the ones where I modded them and I talk a little bit about them. All right, we're getting ready to hit the top 2, and I do want to throw a little bit of a disclaimer in here. These are my companion carry knives. So you probably already know what they are if you follow me or you watch my pocket dumps or see my photos on Instagram. But they are far and away the most carried because they pretty much divide up a 31 day month between the two of them. So you're getting like a solid 2 weeks in a row carried by each one of them, but one just nudged out the other. So number 2 is going to be the WE Hyphen. Yes, this does fit in my 5th pocket. It is really nice that it fits in the 5th pocket. It also goes in the pocket organizers on the weekends. So when I'm carrying a knife that is clipped to my pocket, these are down in the pocket with the organizer. Rocket Glides in the pivot, nice thumb stud action on here, great detent, hollow ground, really nice versatile utility shape on here, very comfortable in hand for most of your, opening boxes, cutting things. You can even do a little bit of breaking down some of your cardboard. It has okay access to the lock bar. It's a little tight with me having the larger hands, but it's not awful. I found like if you do the European style, which you just kind of slide it over and close it, you're not really dropping shut. I say European because like the Giant Mouse knives all have the one that don't have side access. They have the really flat jimping top, and that seems to work really well here. And also the pickup works okay. You have to move down a little bit on the lock. I actually just slid into it. So right there is actually the best spot to be in. Really love the finish on this too. The Anno and the Acid Etch Stonewash looks really good. I love the way that came out, and then the solid colored hardware that doesn't have any kind of fade to it looks really good. You can see where in the 5th pocket or in the organizers, because the organizers usually have a little divider to keep it from hitting the rest of the gear, you can see where it's wearing off the Anno a little bit and a little bit on the thumb studs too, but that's just because I carry it so much. But number 2 is going to be the Roxy 3, and number 1 most carried knife of March is going to be the QSP Hedgehog. This is a traditional pocket knives exclusive. It was definitely the most carried. I wanted to at least one time include my companion carries to show you what I have on me the most, and it is going to be this guy right here. And if you don't think I use it, you'd be sadly mistaken. But the beautiful thing about this blade is that cleaning up is wonderful. Super easy to clean up. It doesn't hold a mark. I open a ton of packages with this. It is such a good pinch grip knife, detailed. If you're doing labels or draw cuts, utility cutting with this, it is really nice, and it just goes and opens packages so well and so easily. And it's easy to put away with one hand for me because I have such large hands. But great walk and talk, and just a great looking knife. And again, traditional pocket knife exclusive. I love the way that this Hedgehog looks. The titanium milling on here being even patterns was definitely the way to go with this one. M390 on the blade steel, and it's just a great companion knife. So here they are. Number 1 is the Hedgehog. Number 2 is going to be the Hyphen from WE. Number 3 is going to be both of my AD 20.5s because they do get a ton of pocket time together. Number 4 is going to be the EMP EDC Relative. Number 5 is going to be the Quiet Carry 9. Number 6 is going to be the Umanzan, which is not going to fit on the screen. Try my best. Number 7, the Kunwu Pulsar. Any of those variants really would be awesome. Number 8 is going to be the Mordax. Number 9 is going to be the Roxy 3, and number 10 is going to be the Benchmade Bug Out. So those were my top 10 carried knives for the month of March. I know it's a little bit of a longer video, but I thought it'd be more fun to show more knives and go through them a little bit more. Hopefully after the edits, I'll cut it down and it won't be quite 20 minutes, but it's gonna be pretty close. Let me know, what was your most carried knife of March, or what are you carrying the most? I love to hear that stuff. I know you guys probably don't think that I read the comments. I do, even if I'm just giving a quick response, you know, just to give the thumbs up to let you know that I read it. But I do enjoy checking that out and seeing what you guys are carrying or enjoying. You know, are you a like-minded individual and carrying one of these, or do you have other stuff in the pocket? I love to see it. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks and shout out to everyone out there that is liking, commenting, subscribe. I appreciate the support. I love you guys. I hope you all have a fantastic week. And until next time, peace.